Hey everybody, ETPC here. What we got here is a toilet. I think it's about 21 years old. So it's slowly leaking. It's just dripping all the time. And I just figured I'm going to change out this. So what I got is have the new, well, it's the Fluidmaster Duoflush complete fill and Duoflush conversion system. So what we got here, I'll move this over a little bit. Alright, I've turned down the water at the base of the toilet. You just have your regular little valve there and you turn it off. This house is kind of old, so it's still leaking a little bit, but that's okay, because I'll show you how to do that, fix that problem. So the tools I have is a bucket and a, darn it, what kind of wrench is that? I can't remember right now, getting old. Anyways, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the water line from the base of the tank down here, and it's still leaking a little bit, so I'm just going to run it into my bucket here that I'm placing down underneath the toilet. Okay, so do that real quick. Okay. That is still dripping. Alright, so I'm going to remove this handle. Just take this apart real quick. This one unscrews clockwise? I think it's backwards, but anyways. Really? A little piece of plastic's going to defy me? I think not. Okay. I'm going to pop that out like that. Put that in the trash. Just unscrew this. It should just screw off like so. Alright. Okay, that's coming off there. Okay. And I'm going to remove this plunger here, the stopper. Maybe. Yep. Okay. There. Alright, so another tool that I have is this little booger sucker for kids or whatever. And we'll use that to get the rest of the water out of here. And I don't think I need all the water out, but actually I'll get most of the water out with that, but I'm going to disconnect the bottom part of this underneath the tank. There's another screw, and I can't get it with just my hand, so I'm going to use my wrench here. And that's just up underneath the toilet. Hopefully I'll be able to unscrew that. Okay. Alright, this one I can, after I get a little bit, I can unscrew it with my hand. And that's going to cause the water to kind of run out of there a little bit too. But I do have the bucket underneath, so I can limit most of the dripping. There we go. Most of it, hopefully. that's great. I'm going to have to mop up later because it's just pouring all over the place. But otherwise I'm on borrowed time here. Alright, so I can use this little device to get the rest of the water out. Good thing the toilet's clean. Okay, so this Duoflush system, it has obviously two flushes. You can do a complete flush to get out, to flush things that need more water, or if you don't have, you just have some toilet paper in there or whatever, you can do a flush that uses less water, like half a tank in or whatever, and you can adjust it to how you want it. So in that, you don't have to do a full flush, a full tank of water every time to flush a toilet if it doesn't need it. So that is how the thing's supposed to save money, and we'll see how that goes here. So we got most of the water out here. Alright, so most of the water's out, and now we're supposed to take some paper towels. I'm going to wash off that area right there. Alright, so this little lip right here is where we're going to have some silicone, or it's I'm just getting a little bit of soap here on the rag. I'm going to wipe that off. It says to use soap and water, so clean. Looks like it got some of those. There's one crystal things on there for making the toilet smell better. And yeah, so this house is approximately 20 years old, and it's still got the original toilets in there. As you can see, the rubber's starting to break down a little bit. Pretty nasty there. So, okay, yeah, I'm gonna put that on my floor. Okay, and then we always try to clean that part up so it'll make a good seal when you put your. Let's fix the other part to this. You want a good seal. You don't want your toilet leaking. That wastes a lot of water, and that's what mine was doing. Just a constant, slow running of the water, basically. So not good. Water bill was going up and stuff. So, and it's pretty annoying too. So, all right. So we got that kind of cleaned up pretty good. Soap and water. A good seal. So the next thing we're going to do is, and there's no real rhyme or reason you have to do it a certain way. I'm going to take the handle here first, unscrew it, and take off the little, it has a little rubber part. My toilet has a small square hole here, and if the hole won't fit in there, if this won't fit in the hole, then you need to use the rubber part so it fits. But it looks like that's going to fit good enough. Let me see. Once I screw this on there, don't want to move it around, so that's fine. And I have it right in the middle too, so it both ways. Is that okay? So that's screwed on there. Don't need the rubber. If your hole is a little bit bigger, then you put the rubber part on there, gasket, to make it fit better, so it doesn't move around. Anyways, okay. So next we're going to get this part. Now it's got a little arrow here, and that's going to go towards this pipe here. So what we got here is my system is at an angle, so the stopper would come down on there and fall. So this is actually, ouch, poke me. This is actually sloped as well. As you can see, if I hold it like this, one side is thicker. So it'll make it stand straight. So I'm going to put the thicker side on the slope there, and that way when I put this down, it'll become even. So I'm going to put this right there. Make sure the little arrow is pointed towards this. It's got a little yellow arrow on there. I'm going to push it on there. And it says to make it nice and snug. So I'm just going to kind of put quite a bit of weight on there. Yeah. Okay. Scrunch it on there good. You know, I might take some, just clean up some of this black, the really corroded the rubber in there. So get that out of there. Okay. Alright, so I'll put that garbage in the bag here. Put it all over the floor, too bad. So once we got that in, now we can take the next part out here. Here we have this part, okay, and that's going to go right down on top of that part that we just stuck in there. So we're going to take these little foam pads off, okay, and what we're going to do is you'll see that this has an arrow right there. And we're going to line it up with the arrow that's down on that piece. There's a yellow arrow that's pointing right towards here. You can't see it because it's behind the thing. But there's a yellow arrow there. We lined this arrow up right with that arrow. Okay, so make sure it's right above that arrow. And you just kind of feed it in there so you hear it click. So it should be most kind of vertical. Okay. Now that's in there. Okay, so this part has a little spring-loaded mechanism here. You press that down, and that's going to allow you to fix this onto this end here. So you want your handle level. You press that down, and you push it on. All right. Now you should be able to pull on it, and it should stay in place. If it doesn't, if your handle isn't pressed in all the way, this might not stay on. If it doesn't stay on, if it only locks on like maybe that much, and then it pops off, it's not locked in place. So you make sure that the square part is pushed in enough, because if it can't lock in place, it's not going to flush correctly. So you should be able to just pull gently on it, and it should not be able to go anywhere. And your handle should be vertical here. Okay, so we have that in. Now, for the final piece. So we have, oh, whoa, that was close. Try to jump off there. You saw that, right? Okay. We have a new gasket that's going to go on the bottom of this. You know what? I'm going to just actually put the gasket on first, and you want this part that's got a rounded part down here. You don't want that pointing up like that. You want the round part down facing towards the threads, okay, like that. And just kind of screw it down onto there, just a little bit at a time, I guess. Push it down there. Come on. Good night. Just kind of work it up there. Okay, so I want to snug against this base part here. Okay, so when this ships, they pass this wire or the hose through here, and I don't know if that's intentional or not, so I just take it out the other side, and I don't know if that makes any difference, but that's just what I'm doing. Okay, so now this part here is going to go down in the hole right there that we took out from the old one. And I removed the old washer that was there, or the, yeah, okay. So we're going to put that there like that, okay? And what we have use another one of these, a new one, and we're going to screw that on the bottom of the tank here, up onto the bottom of this, the threads, okay? And we're going to thread that on and hand tighten it. Alright, so tighten that on there a little more. And I don't know, good night, because it's still like a kind of a gap there, and I'm just trying to snug it out, make sure that it, when I tighten it down there, you don't want to over tighten things, especially this is a plastic washer, but I don't want it to leak either, so make sure it's on there snug. And yeah, if it's just, the washer's just, it seems like it's up a little bit, so I'm just going to, man, it's hard to see right here, but hopefully it'll snug down when I tighten it a little bit. Alright, that should be good enough. You don't want to over tighten plastic washers for sure. And also comes with another piece. This can go on if you're replacing the line from the wall to the bottom of the tank. You can use a new one of these. I'm not replacing that line. It recommends it, but I'm not doing that right now. So, okay. Also gives this little device here. This just attaches. You put the hose from the pump part right onto there. Screw it. Doesn't screw on there, but you know, kind of twist it on there. And then it has a little hose clamp, which I don't think that's coming off there anyways, but we'll put that little hose clamp on there too. Alright, so this kind of just fits over this, the overflow part. And you want to make sure that this is not pointed into the overflow, or else your water is just going to keep pouring down the overflow hole and it'll never fill up your tank. So make sure that this clip, this part is on the outside, not on the inside. It has this little device on here, and I'm not sure what it does. Some way of restricting the flow, but I don't know if I don't think it's necessary. Anyways, so that is that. I'm going to reconnect my water supply to the bottom of this now. Screw that on there. And hopefully you want to check for leaks when that is done. Make sure you don't have any leaks going on. That's just hand tighten. Okay. I got my towel down here, so I'm going to clean up a little bit. Wipe off my lines, make sure I'm not got any perceivable leakage going on here. Don't want that. Okay, I'm going to undo my water valve. Maybe. Just, there we go. All right. Okay, so that's filling up. This blue valve is going to be for your max flush setting. So, or for your second flush, your lower flush. You want that to be your more, to flush more. So you keep that in the max setting, and then you can set. This is your minimum flush. If you just have fluids in there, you just want to flush. You don't need a full flush to clean that out. You know, so you can just put this. You can test it, and it says to put like 3 pieces of toilet paper in there, and then just keep setting it until it doesn't flush the 3 pieces of toilet paper. So I'm going to put that on about 4, okay, and we'll see. I think you guys can see that. Yeah. So when you push up on the plug, on the handle here, it does the quick flush. All right, that didn't even flush, so obviously we need a little bit more of a flush, so we'll crank that. We'll turn it over to 6 now. We'll try to flush that. that seemed to put a lot of water out there, so we'll see what's going on here. That's pretty much it with the installation. It's quick and easy. There's no not a lot of leaking going on. I didn't hear any you know, dripping or whatever. You want to make sure you check your connections. Make sure there's no leaks going on. You don't want to come out in the middle of the night and find water all over your floor or whatever. So, and that was the little flush supposedly. There we go. So if that's not the flush, then you leave it at that. And if you want a little bit more water, I mean, if that's not satisfactory to get it all out, then you can adjust this to, you know, higher level. Okay, and here's the main flush is down. So if you got a bunch of stuff in there, that's going to be your main flush set to max, and you should be able to get more. If you want more water in the tank, you can turn this thing to the right. It'll have your plunger come up more. You just want to make sure that the water line doesn't go over this right here. There we go. That's about where you want it. You don't want it too high. Now you listen. And there's no extra water running here. There's no dripping or anything. It's all smooth and quiet now. So that's kind of what I wanted anyways. And I kind of like the idea of getting this flush system. It was about $19.94 at Home Depot. And it's easy. As you can see, the installation, I'm no plumber or anything. This is fairly simple. If I can do it, you guys can do it for sure. Don't be intimidated. And it's not leaking. Quick install, only a few tools necessary. Make sure you double check your valves and stuff, and make sure there's no leaks going on. And this is a problem I ran into. If it doesn't go through all the way, then this won't attach. So I was having an issue with that. I'm going to put my tank on, and the top of the tank on, and see if that interferes with the handle now. Okay, so that's sets on there. As you can see, I'm pulling that out. Plenty of clearance on this one. You're flushed. I'm going to call this good. Thanks for watching, everyone. I have other videos out there, of course, on different things. I do a whole bunch of stuff. So if you like what you saw here, you know, throw a thumbs up. Be sure to like and subscribe if you do that kind of thing. If not, thanks for watching my video. Hope it helps. Save some water. And get your toilet running again. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.